Okay, you guys, so starting with part 1, number 1.
And finally, we will now release sixth grade car riders. Walkers, please wait for Ms. Colsey by the gate, and all host students. Sixth grade car riders, walkers waiting for Ms. Colsey by the gate to cross the street, and host students. Thank you.
Sorry guys, so remembering some things about relationships and functions are that your x values are your domain. So these two options here say that the range of the function is 2, 4, 5, 6, and that the domain of the function is 2, 4, 5, 6. So if we look at our x values, that's where we see the 2, 4, 5, 6. So that's the domain. Since that's our x value, that's the domain. So domain, yes. Range, no. Our range is 5, 6, 8, 13. Okay? And then for this relationship to be a function, you're checking that each number in the input column, or the x values, only go to one number in the y column, or the y values. Okay? And since there's no repeats here, then yes, this is a function. Question 2, you're going to use what we call the vertical line test, which is to check and see if there's anywhere on this graph where you can draw a vertical line that it's going to hit your curve in more than one place. And it doesn't. Every single one of those vertical lines that I just drew, and any vertical line that I drew anywhere on this graph, would only hit that curve one time. So yes, this is a function, because again, these vertical lines all only hit the curve one time. Question 3, which equation models this particular proportional relationship? So for you to find this number, right, our unit rate here, or our slope if we're talking about a proportional relationship, you have to choose a point. Any point, doesn't matter except for 0, 0. Don't do that one. Any point, so that one works. And you write the ratio of the y value over the x value, okay? Yes, I know that that feels backwards or upside down or something, but that's the way that we find it. Okay, so our y value is 12, and our x value is 2. So then 12 divided by 2 gives us 6. So A is our correct answer. Y is equal to 6x. Okay, and what that says is that if you take your x value and you multiply it by 6, you'll get your y value. So 2 times 6 is 12, 4 times 6 is 24, 6 times 6 is 36, and 8 times 6 is 48. Question 4, determining whether each statement is true or false based on this particular graph. So as we read from left to right, this graph is in fact going down. So yes, that has a negative slope, right? If it were going up, if it went the other way, that would be a positive slope. But since it's going down, it's got a negative slope. All right, the slope of the line being -2. So we'll go ahead and find this slope. All right, I'm going to use these 2 points. You can use any 2 you want as long as you can tell what they are. So from this point to this point, I like to always start on the left, and I also like to always start with my vertical change. So on this particular graph, we are going down one place. Okay, and then we are going to the right 2 places. All right. So that's my slope triangle right there. My slope formula, how we find our slope, is that it's our delta y over our delta x. So our vertical change over our horizontal change. So we went down 1, so that's -1 for my vertical change. And then we went 2 places to the right, so that's +2 for my horizontal change. So my slope here is -1/2, right, which is not the same thing as -2, so that one's false. All right, and then it says a point on the line is 8, 1. So basically they're asking if you continued this line, would you hit the point 8, 1? So we know that we are going down 1 and over to the right, down 1 and over to the right, down 1 and over to the right. And then once again, if I were to go down 1 and over to the right 2 places, right? This is 6, this is 7, this would be 8. So yes, that point right there would be 8, 1. So yes, that one's true. Number 5, the slope of the line that goes between those 2 points. Remember that our slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, I'm going to say this is my point 1 and this is my point 2. And then remember that each point is made up of an x and a y value. So this is my x1 and my y1 because that is point 1. And this is my x2 and my y2 because that is point 2. Okay, so then we do the subtraction of our y values, y2 minus y1. So 17 minus 7. Okay. And then the subtraction of our x values. So x2 minus x1. So 4 minus 2. Okay, 17 minus 7 is 10. 4 minus 2 is 2. Oops, sorry, you can't see that. And then 10 divided by 2 is 5. So 5 is our correct answer there. For question 6, you guys, Beth says that the graph, it has this equation right here, y equals 1/4 times x. And Joe says that it has this equation right here, y equals 4 times x. And they want to know which person is correct and explain your reasoning. So if we take a look at this graph, we can see that it has these 2 points on it. All right, this is a proportional graph. It is a straight line and it does go through the origin, so it's proportional. So then for me to find this number, right, the number that's in our equation here, we do that by writing that ratio again of y over x. So if you choose this point right here, the point 4, 1, and you write your ratio of y over x, that's going to be 1 over 4. Our y value is 1 and our x value is 4. If you chose this point right here and you wrote your ratio of y over x, that would be 2 over 8. Our y value is 2 and our x value is 8. So if you simplify 2 over 8, you can divide both those numbers by 2. You're going to get 1/4. So our unit rate here is 1/4, which means that Beth is correct. Number 7, they have given you this table and they are asking you to find how much money that this person earns for X hours of work. So this type of relationship is going to be proportional. So all of these ratios are going to be the same. If you would like for me to check that, I can. And it does go through the origin, right? So if I do my ratio of y over x, so 15 over 2, that's going to give me 7.5. Okay, if I do my ratio of 30 over 4, that's going to give me 7.5. If I do my ratio of 5250 over 7, that's going to give me 7.5. And if I do my ratio of 60 over 8, that gives me 7.5. Okay, so every time here, this ratio of money to hours is going to simplify to 7.5. That means that the profit is $7.50 each hour, right? $7.50 an hour. So then once we have this number, this unit rate, we're just going to plug that in as that M value. So then our answer here is going to be the equation y is equal to our number, which is 7.5, times x. Number 8, both James and Javier tutor students. The table shows how much James earns. Okay, so that's James. And then Javier's is the equation 8.75 times h. So Javier is 8.75 times h. Okay, so what that means is that Javier is making $8.75 for every hour that he's tutoring. All right, this question is asking you if they both tutored for 24 hours, who would make more money? Okay, so to figure out Javier's earnings is pretty easy. You're just going to do $8.75 times 24 if he tutored for 24 hours. So 8.75 times 24 is 210. So Javier made $210 if he works for 24 hours. Now for James, obviously 24 is not in this table. So there's a couple different ways you could do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find his unit rate and then take that and multiply it by 24. So I'll use this point right here, okay, and write my ratio of y over x, right? So 1450 over 2. All right, and then if I do 1450 divided by 2, then his unit rate is $7.25. That means that he makes $7.25 for every hour that he tutors. So to figure out how much money he's making, we're going to take $7.25, multiply it by 24 hours. And that's going to give us $174. Okay, so James is making $174. Meanwhile, Javier is making $210. So the question is, who made the most money? Well, Javier, 210 is more than 174. And how much more did he make, right? So then you have to go one step further. You guys, I'm sorry, this is a long question. One step further and take the $210 that Javier made and subtract the $174 that James made, which will tell you that Javier made $36 more. All right, so that is our answer. All right, you guys, almost done. So question 9 is asking you to find the slope of this line, and they did give you the 2 points on here. Okay, so again, I like to start on the left and go in the vertical direction first because that matches up with the slope formula. So to go from here to here, obviously we have to go down to get down to where that point is. So we go all the way down to where that point is located, which is right there. Okay, and then we're going to count squares to see how far we went. So we went down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 places. So my vertical change, my delta y, is going to be negative 12 because I went down 12 places. Then we're going to go to the right over to where that point is. Okay, and we went 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So my horizontal change is going to be 4. All right, so we have negative 12 over 4, and we can simplify that by dividing both these numbers by 4, and that's just going to give us negative 3 over 1, or negative 3. So our slope here is negative 3. Question 10, same thing. I'm going to start on the left and go in the vertical direction first. So this time I have to go up in order to end up where that point is. So we'll just draw a line that goes straight up. And then again, a line that goes straight over to the right. Okay, and then we have to find our delta y and our delta x. So I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places. So positive 6 is going to be my delta y. And then I went to the right 1, 2, 3 places. So my delta x is going to be positive 3. And then 6 divided by 3 is 2. Question 11, the slope of the line that passes through these 2 points. Once again, remembering that we have a point 1 and a point 2, and that every single point has an x and a y value. So that makes this my x1, y1, and my x2, y2. All right. Our slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then we're going to go ahead and plug everything in. So y2 is 5 minus y1 is 3. x2 is 8 minus x1 is 4. Subtracting, 5 minus 3 is 2. 8 minus 4 is 4. And then 2 over 4 is going to simplify to 1/2. Question 12, Jared found the slope of the line going through these 2 points using the calculation at the right. Do you agree or disagree with his answer? If you disagree, correct his mistake and give the correct slope. Okay, so we'll go ahead and say that this is point 1, and this is point 2, and this is an x, and this is a y, and this is an x, and this is a y. So if we were going to do this ourselves, right, we'll just do that and then compare it to what he has. Our y2 is 7 minus our y1 is 1. Our x2 is negative 2 minus our x1 is also negative 2. So that's what we get when we plug in to our formula, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So he has 7 minus 1, and then negative 2 minus negative 2. So our work is exactly the same. So then if we were to work this out, 7 minus 1 is 6. And then -2 minus -2. Remember, you can turn this double negative into a plus sign, right? So -2 plus 2 is the same thing as 0. And since we cannot divide by 0, we don't want a 0 in the denominator. That is, in fact, an undefined slope. So we should be agreeing with Jared.